Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Well, the new session of Congress is ramping up in Washington, and it promises to be a momentous one for us here in Massachusetts, let alone the rest of the nation. So it's a great time, as always, to talk with one of the few political figures who can be counted on always to give you a straight answer, Congressman Stephen Lynch of the 8th Congressional District. Congressman, good to see you.
Good to see you, John. Good to be back.
Thanks for coming in. The Republicans in the House are threatening to hold the fairly routine debt limit increase that we need to keep the government paying its bills hostage to their demands for cuts in what they call out-of-control spending. First of all, for the benefit of the Social Security recipients, veterans, and many others who may be anxious about the immediate future of their benefits, what do you believe is going to happen here?
We'll have to come to agreement. I think there are enough common sense Republicans who understand that the debt limit must be met, we have to pay our bills, that there'll be some type of coalition between Democrats and Republicans to get the debt limit extended. And there might be some horse trading in the meantime, though, in order to get the Democratic votes. I think Mr. McCarthy will have to accede to some of the preferences of the Democratic side. But I think an agreement can be had.
Well, over in the Senate, Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia, has proposed setting up these special bipartisan committees that will review federal spending over the course of the coming year, and whatever they wind up filing would be sort of fast-tracked. Does that have any legs?
Time is of the essence, so we don't have a lot of time. I know that extraordinary measures are being taken now by Secretary Yellen, but it may help in the Senate. Who knows?
Well, setting aside the brinksmanship and the rhetoric, do the Republicans have a point about federal spending increasing too fast?
Oh, without question. But they should also admit that, the Trump tax breaks actually dropped revenue so that the spending obviously got further out of balance by about $3 trillion. So hopefully they remember that it was their vote, their bill, their president that got us to this point.
Congressman Lynch, it's coming up on about a year, I believe, since you visited Ukraine with a congressional delegation, and I know you've been monitoring that situation closely. What's your assessment of the situation, and are we and the rest of the NATO alliance doing everything we should be doing?
I think so. We're over $100 billion in aid right now to the Ukraine government. They've handled it extremely well militarily. I think they surprised the world with their ability to push back and retake a lot of the land that the territory that the Russians had initially occupied. But it is apparently going more toward a stalemate. So I think that there's this next 3 to 6 months, especially during this winter, it's going to be telling in terms of the direction that it goes in. So Zelensky says he wants to reclaim all of the territory that...
including Crimea.
Including Crimea. So he's in for the long haul. And I give President Biden great credit for holding that coalition together during this time. And I think that with the addition of Finland and Sweden into NATO, their requests, it's actually strengthening our coalition of democratic nations in the face of Russian aggression.
Well, you say it's heading towards stalemate. What does that mean for us in terms of, are we going to be on the hook for these billions in aid indefinitely?
Well, it has been a NATO operation, so we are not alone in terms of rendering aid, financial and otherwise, to the Ukrainians. But it is an existential fight for democracy in that nation. So I think we'll do everything we can to be helpful.